you may have received a message from us asking you to put your selections into the Stockopedia challenge. If you don't know what that's about, watch this quick 5-minute video. I'll explain last year's challenge and show you how to get your picks into the next year's challenge. This is a really terrific resource for the community, and I do hope you'll take part. So, what is the challenge? Well, we set this up last year in 2020. It's a stock picking competition. We had about 2,153 entrants who each selected 5 picks each to be held for 12 months. And at the end of every quarter, we've offered a whole range of books to the leader of that quarter. And the winner of the total year has been offered a trip to New York, which in this COVID situation is quite difficult to give, but I'm sure that we'll find a way around it. The results can be seen at www.stockopedia.com/challenge, and there were something like 2,500 shares picked, about half in the UK, slightly more than half internationally, and it's a really terrific resource of great insights. I want to show you in this presentation that there's been a lot of value generated by these picks. They've generally outperformed the market, and I do think the community is a wise crowd. So looking at some of the top performance 2020, the current leader is called Fergus Pinkerton, but there is still a week to go. His picks are up 550% as of the last close. There's no intra-year trading at all, but you can see that his top 2 picks were Greatland Gold and Eurasia Mining. Greatland Gold being the standout pick of the year. And I did say at the beginning of the year I expected the risk ratings of the portfolio that wins to be very highly speculative, and that has proven to be true. And but really, Greatland Gold has been a stunning share. It's gone from a market cap of 66 million to 1.3 billion. It was picked by 19 pickers in that year, and many of them are near the top of the leaderboard. So well done, all of you. Other notable stocks, apart from Greatland Gold and Eurasian Mining, Tesla was picked by 50 people and has stunned everybody this year, up 740%, stunned me too. And interestingly, there are a few people at the top who did pick Synergen, Omega Diagnostics, some of the COVID testing stocks that have become kind of all the rage amongst the private investor community this year. But they were picked by very, very few people. Only 2 picked Synergen, only 1 picked Omega Diagnostics. And Novacyt, being the huge hit in the last 6 months, had absolutely no pickers in this competition at the beginning of last year, which I guess shows how from left field the COVID situation came from. And let's hope we aren't hit by such an extreme curveball in 2021. Is there alpha in the top picks? Now, I think this is really interesting. If I look at just Stockopedia subscribers, so people who actually subscribe to the Stockopedia platform, the average of the top 10 most picked stocks over that 12 months is up 23.5%. I mean, it's just quite amazing how the market has recovered. If you think the FTSE All Share is down 15% over the year, these top 10 picks have absolutely crushed the market as a whole. 6 of them winners, 4 of them losers. Sylvania Platinum, a standout share. Also Volex up 97%. Games Workshop, a couple of losers, Sosandar and Redrow in there. Housing, it's just an interesting array of shares. And I think amazing that the community have picked out so many good stocks over the year. Interestingly, the non-subscriber pick of shares, the most picked by non-subscribers, was up 11.1%, which I think has tracked the AIM market. I think the AIM market is up about 10% over the year, which actually shows how speculative shares have done very well in this climate. But only 3 winners out of those top 10, 7 losers, mainly because there's a lot of oil shares in this set. You tended to find over the last 10, 20 years that oil and gas and mining shares have been the focus of the UK private investor community for ill or for gain. And last year, certainly oil stocks took a really bad hit as we've all driven less, etc., etc. So, but still there's been value in there, mostly driven by Asia Met resources. I've also looked at the returns to the top pick sets, not just the top 10, but top 10, top 20, top 50, top 100, top 200. And in this slide, you can see that this significant outperformance has been quite robust, even as you go deeper into the sets of shares. So, top 200 shares, average performance of 25% or so. The mean has done much better than the median slightly under zero for as you go deeper into the most picked sets. Now, I think that I do think the community is generally quite wise, and I know I'm biased, but the subscriber community especially. But I think also some of this comes down to the fact that in competitions like this, people tend to pick more speculative shares, and speculative shares have done very well this last year. But I must remember, if you have seen any of my webinars on the risk ratings, that speculative shares in general tend to underperform over the longer term. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next year. But I will certainly be using the top 10, 20 as a very good resource for my portfolio in the coming 12 months. Interestingly, I put together at the beginning of the year a portfolio I called the Synapse, which blended the best of the stock ranks, which is our proprietary algorithm we're very well known for, that's done exceptionally well over the last 7 years or so, and blended that with the top selections of the community. So this is a portfolio blending the best of man plus machine, and it's actually done almost 25% year to date, which I think is a really remarkable outcome, and it shows maybe gives that best of both worlds. So I'll be doing a reprise of that in the new year as well. So submitting picks and finding picks. Now, just before I show you how to submit your picks, I want to just quickly explain this idea of the wisdom of crowds. James Surowiecki wrote this amazing book many years ago called The Wisdom of Crowds, at the genesis of the internet. And it really is something which I think informs the way that you can best do competitions like this, and why they can be really effective. So there are 5 themes of a wise crowd that James Surowiecki talks about. Everyone should have diverse opinions, and I think that's true in the private investor community, although we can herd a bit into certain hot names. Independent picks. That's why I'm not letting anybody see the picks of the whole crowd before you've submitted your own. So you must submit your picks independently. Ideally, you want a decentralized crowd, and I think us private investors all in our homes all over the UK and the world are very decentralized. And there's this idea of aggregation. So you need a mechanism for taking private judgments into a collective set. And hopefully you can all trust the group to be fair. So I like to think that we have some elements of a wise crowd, and we'll see how that goes. So look, how do you put your picks in? Go to www.stockopedia.com/challenge/2021, and you can see your picks now, and you can submit your picks. Now, what I'm going to show you is, if you go to /challenge, so stockopedia.com/challenge, you will see this landing page with 2021 here and 2020. If I go through to 2020, you will see that there's a leaderboard with the top pickers here, and there's also a tab that says top picks. Now, you can go and look at last year's top picks here, just as I've showed you, and really browse this data set to your heart's content. But if you go to the 2021 challenge, you can see that the top picks is not available. That won't be available till after New Year, once everyone's picks are in. So do click the button, choose your top picks. You can just type and search. For example, it's one of my holdings. Enter your top 5 stocks, click submit, and you'll go through and you'll get a landing page with your picks, and you can review them, tweet them, whatever you want to do with them. Please do submit your 5 picks, and I'll allow you to actually gain access to that top picks tab after New Year. Many thanks for listening. That's it.